Greeting, Earthling. Today you're going to be talking with after the correlation. No, one. We need to have Discord here. Ableton and the sound of our voice. Number 2, we need to have Ableton have low latency, which as you can see, Ableton has low latency because I'm almost hearing my voice exactly as I speak, even with waves and 2 EQs enabled, which is very nice. Number 3, we need to make sure Discord does not hear Discord. Number 4, we also want every channel recorded separately into OBS so that they may be turned down or up after or during recording, which is shown here. Now, the way you set this up is with a program called Voicemeeter. Voicemeeter Potato is the one I use. And so I went to A1, ASIO, chose my audio interface, and then I went into Ableton and went to Options, Settings, ASIO, and then chose Voicemeeter Potato Insert. Now, when I did this, I encountered problems. I didn't hear my voice right away. But if I chose Voicemeeter Aux or Voicemeeter Virtual or some of these other ones, I was able to hear my Ableton. I said voice the first time, but I meant Ableton. But the reason is because when you choose Insert, you kind of have to do something on Voicemeeter's sort of awkward routing kind of stuff. But you'll know it's right because you'll have all of these inputs. And I just heard this is just the best one according to ChatGPT or Grok or Claude. Anyways, let us go now into Voicemeeter and show you what I had to do to be able to hear Ableton's audio as you are hearing it right now. But if I were to click this, you can no longer hear the audio. You can no longer hear the audio. So, why not any of these other ones? Well, because these work like buses. Buses have inputs and outputs, and because I already have my inputs on buses 1 to 10, I used buses 11 and 12 to have the Ableton audio routed back into the Voicemeeter device and to my interface and into my headphones. Now, if I go to Ableton, as you can see, I'm using 11 and 12. But if you don't see all of these options, or when you create a new audio track, you don't see these options, or however many your interface provides, go to Settings, Audio, Input Config, enable the inputs that you need, and similarly enable the outputs. Now, I probably don't need all of these, so I will just disable them. There we go. And now if I click, oh, I forgot to click OK. Make sure to click OK, or else this won't be saved. Oops, that one. There we go. There we go. Now, let us go into Voicemeeter and keep talking. So now we're able to hear our Ableton's output just as we normally would if we had our interface being the primary audio device inside of Ableton. But how do we get our inputs from our audio interface to run through the Voicemeeter ASIO device and into Ableton? Very simply, we just click under this Patch Inputs and Strips Set tab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then as we choose this, over on these strips, you'll kind of see your own voice kind of come up, or whatever is happening to your interface kind of pop up here. You'll actually probably hear it if it's set to A1 or any of these primary kind of slots. Next, but I should mention, so as you enable it on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's going to enable it through these buses on the bottom here, and each of these buses corresponds to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you just enable them inside of Ableton in that input config that I just showed, just through here. Okay, so that's how to get all of our inputs and outputs configured properly through Voicemeeter so that they now appear in Ableton. Next, how do we get Discord to hear Ableton and our voice? We then go into Voicemeeter, and as you can see, my voice is being heard through Voicemeeter input, but actually this voice is coming from Ableton. This is not my voice. This is my voice. So, wait a minute. No. It's okay. I just got confused for a second. Okay, so you gotta remember, as you are hearing my voice, this is coming out of Ableton. This is not coming from anywhere else other than Ableton. Oh, it is coming from somewhere else. Darn it. Hopefully that fixes it. That probably... Apologies. I just reviewed the previous audio and decided it would be adequate, but what I just did was I went into Bandicam and disabled the secondary sound source, which was my actual voice unprocessed. So now you're only hearing my voice through Ableton into the interface's loopback feature. So whatever the interface hears is what you are hearing. So I am also hearing my voice as I speak. Anyways, that has nothing to do with what we're doing here. Here, to get Discord to hear your voice and Ableton, you simply need to just set your voice and Ableton on to one of these virtual channels. And so, as I can see, B2 means this audio is being routed, and Ableton's audio is being routed to B2. So in Discord, microphone is set to out B2, which means Discord is now hearing both of those. Next, how do we hear Discord? Because if we were to set Discord as our default input, and if we were to set Discord as our default input, it'd be kind of hard to separate them so that OBS could hear each one separately. So what we did is we installed this tool called Voicemeeter Cables. You can find it on the Voicemeeter website, and we installed that, and then it gave us a virtual kind of cable. So I have Discord outputting to cable input, and then inside of Voicemeeter, I have stereo input 4 as the cable output. So that's so I can hear Discord, because I am hearing everything on A1. So this is set here, it goes into this strip, and then it comes out as A1, and then I can hear it through A1 on Voicemeeter. Now, we can hear it. But how does OBS hear it? This is the OBS setup. It's kind of strange. You might have noticed we also have B1 enabled on our Ableton strip. Why is this? Why do we have B1 and B2? Well, this is because inside of OBS, Ableton is on B1. And Discord is on cable output. Does that make any sense? Discord is on cable output, because Discord in OBS is only the person's voice. This is only the person's voice. This is only the Discord audio. Ableton is only the Ableton audio. 3 and 4 is mics 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 is mics 1 and 2, or channels 1 and 2 from the audio interface. I personally don't understand why we have B1 and B2. B1 is going into B1. This is Ableton audio going into B1, and then going into here, B1, and then B1 is going into Ableton. Okay, that makes sense. And then B2 is... B2 is Discord's channel. So everything on B2, Discord can hear. So for example, if I wanted Discord to not hear my voice as I'm speaking right now through Ableton, because my voice is getting processed by Ableton and then going into Discord, I would turn this audio down. So then the person on Discord would not be hearing kind of two voices. But if I turned this up and I still had this channel in Ableton set to auto and armed, they would be hearing two voices. Does that make sense? So, B2 is meant for Discord, B1 is meant for OBS, A1 is meant for meant for what I'm hearing. So, that accomplishes number 1. Discord hears Ableton and our voice. Number 2. Ableton is low latency because it is using an ASIO driver that is optimized within Voicemeeter for low latency. Number 3. Discord is not hearing its own audio because we're not simply using a loopback feature which would also send back Discord's audio. Discord is being set to a separate audio device, a virtual audio cable that we have routed in a different way. So because Discord is being routed to A1 and not B2, Discord will not be hearing itself. But if I wanted Discord to hear an echo, I would choose B2. And then Discord would start hearing an echo of themselves speak. Okay, and then number 4. I wanted everything on a separate channel inside of OBS, which is what we have achieved by using a voice VB audio cable, virtual cable, as well as the virtual sort of output channels inside, or virtual buses, you can call them, inside of Voicemeeter itself. So B2 is kind of a bus meant for Discord. I wish we can name them. I don't see anywhere we can though. But I would name them, because B2 would be Discord, and then B1 would be OBS Ableton. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And that's kind of the chain of command, how this is all coming together. And yes, so good. Now we can start hearing our voice regularly. If we were to take and then now if we choose A1, I'm hearing it through A1, which is being routed to my audio interface, and then my audio interface is routing it back through its loopback feature into Bandicam, into the loopback. So you were hearing everything in this video through my interface's way of capturing things. But that's all the complicated stuff for this. Additional complicated things is you want to make sure the sample rate remains the same across everything. So 48 kilohertz is what I'm using. I was surprised when Discord's audio could be shared by Voicemeeter and by OBS, because it's technically being shared. It's the output's going here and the output is also going to Discord. And I was surprised to see that it could do that. And other than that, the only other thing is when Discord, you choose one of these things in Discord, something that's very annoying to figure out is that Discord won't listen to your choices on the input and outputs. It usually listens to your microphone choice, but for your output or speaker choice, it doesn't really listen. So what you have to do, it's gonna listen to what Windows's default audio track is. So if you're also playing like a video game at the same time, and that video game is not very modern, it'll also choose the default audio device of Windows. So what you have to do in that case, when Discord is kind of acting up, is you have to go to your settings, volume mixer settings, and then go into Discord, and then choose output device, and then the output device that you want. And then Discord will kind of cooperate that way, because this is a way to set individual system devices per application, which is really helpful. So yeah, that's how to do this complicated way of recording with OBS, also sharing your audio to someone on Discord, and while also having low latency, and with everything kind of running smoothly. So yeah, hope that was helpful, and I'm just kind of making these videos for myself, just so when I have this problem again, I just know where to go.